Okay. Class is in session. Well, first of all, I want to thank you all so much for coming. This is just really important to me. It means a lot, so thank you. It's nice to see all of your wonderful, friendly, smiling faces. So, a little bit about myself. Most of you know me, but those of you that don't, my name is Marianne Hill. I am the first vice president and chairman of arts and culture for the Diamond Bar Women's Club. And we are presenting today a journal workshop. So I'm going to be doing a 90-day journal journey. First of all, it's based on this book that I wrote, which is Life, Love, and Loss. It's a collection of poetry, and it's done in sections. So I have a section of poetry that deal with life, everyday life, some that deal with love, and then some that deal with loss. So what I thought was, I also have a companion journal, which is just open journal, but I have come up with prompts. So I have 30 prompts for the life section, 30 prompts for the love section, and 30 prompts for the loss section. So for this journey, I plan for the journey to start October 1st, so it'll take us through the end of the year. I didn't want to end on loss, so I figured I'd sandwich that in the middle. So I'll do love first, so 30 days of love, 30 days of loss, journaling about that, and then 30 days of life, which will usher us right into the new year. And then from that point, I'll probably come up with a 30-day new year of living kind of journaling, but this will lead us there. So, I came prepared, so I have journals, but I also have just blank sheets of paper for anyone that does want a journal if you didn't bring one. So these are some of the journal prompts, but we'll get to that. So, what I would like to do, I'm going to share a journal entry of mine, one for each section. So I guess I'll go in the order that we will be doing it, which is, yeah.
So 2 questions. First,
Sure.
is that a hardcover on your book? I only have the soft covers.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yes. They're they both come in hardcover, the book and the journal.
And may I buy a journal so I can
Oh,
take it
yes,
now?
yes, thank you. So
I
they,
have a hardcover journal.
Mhm.
Can I
Yeah.
see if I can find it?
yeah. So the soft covers are $10. Do you want a soft cover or
Hard.
hard?
Is it 10?
10.
Oh, I'll buy one too. It's all covered.
Marianne, how much is the hardcover start?
20.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank
And
you
then I
very
can
much.
sign all of these for you if you would like, before
Yes,
you
please.
leave.
Do you have another soft cover?
Excuse me.
Maureen, I'm just gonna hand this to you because I have to read another.
Oh, thank you, I forgot.
Well, you got another soft cover?
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm gonna get one for Lisa. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. You can just help yourself, the books are. So. Okay, the softs are 20, the hard covers are 35, and then these are 20, and the soft are 10.
Okay, I'll give you a 30.
Okay, see what this is. There you go, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
I want to take notes while you're talking. I wanted to be ready.
I got two.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any more questions? Everybody done? Okay. So I just wanted to kind of get your feedback about the flow of it, what you think about the concept, about the journaling and the prompts. So I will start with love, because it's gonna go love, loss, and then life. So I'm going to read you my journal entry. The question is, what is your definition of love? And for this journal entry, I said, how does one define love? I guess the easy answer is caring for someone more than yourself. Love comes from the care of another. In the physical act of caring, stronger emotions form. I think that is the root of love. For me, I look to God, for God is love. My guide is the Lord. I think love is the theme of the Bible, and that love has many forms. There is romantic love, of course, platonic love, familial love, the love of oneself, the love of nature, the love of money. This makes me think if you are not able to care for something, you love it for what it does for you, which goes back to the love of oneself and the consideration of unconditional love. Can love exist without giving it out and not receiving something in return? Is love conditional based on its returns to you? Is love a feeling or a fishing net set out to bring in fruitful rewards from all that receive the love being given?
That's your journal entry?
I ain't quite that deep. I'm standing right.
Yes.
I'm curious, are we gonna like do like a check-in later, like maybe in this 3 months journey, maybe in November or October, and then we'll share the prompts with us for them?
Yeah, so what I'm going to do, well, I know everyone doesn't have social media, but I'm going to do a social media push. So I will be on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, I think YouTube too, because I think I have a YouTube channel that I haven't done anything with. So I'm gonna be doing this every day. So I'm gonna read the journal entry every day and then end with the question for the next day.
So we just have to hook up with your social media and then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you can follow along every day.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna confirm, is
Okay.
your Facebook page, or do you have a special page for this?
No, it's just
Is
gonna
it
be
your
mine.
Thank you, your name.
Marianne the Poet.
Oh, the poem, okay.
That's my handle on everything. My YouTube channel, I have to check and see, I don't really know what it is, but I'll post it on, my social media pages, yeah. But it's Marianne the Poet, so you can follow me, I'm open to, I'm public, my pages are public, so.
So we can share out with people, like if they're not here today, like,
Yeah.
hey, we're starting this journal journey.
Yeah, exactly, and we can push it out. And then I will give the precursor too, because like I know I mentioned God in here and my religious beliefs, so I'm a Christian, I believe in God, but I welcome all religions and those that don't have religion, like just for the topic of conversation, because I just embrace the differences in people, and I feel like with love, which is what we're starting with, I just believe that love conquers all. I really do, and I think that in exposing ourselves and being vulnerable and open and honest, we can just learn about one another in a respectful way. So that's the way I approach it, because I will talk about it because I am spiritual, but it's, I love to hear everybody's point of view and what they think or how they interpret it. Yeah. And then I feel like we can interact. So on the social media, you can post a video in the comments like of yourself. Hi. You can post a video in the comments of yourself, or you can take a picture of your journal entry and put it in the comments, and we can all kind of talk and discuss. And it could be I want for it to be a two-way conversation in the comments. Yeah.
Now, that journal entry that you just wrote, is that like, but every day starting October 1st, you said, so every day you're gonna be doing a new journal entry related to love, to love.
To love. And then lost, and then life. So there's different, these are examples of the prompts.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just say it, because this is gonna be the journal exercise that we do. We're gonna break, and do one or two from each section. And then you can share, if you want to share, or you can give yours for someone to read, or you can read it yourself. Or that's what I plan to do for today.
That's good.
So some of the examples of the prompts are life, and I have 30 for each one, but I just want to share a few. So what is the philosophical meaning of life? How are you grateful in life? How do you find joy in life? How do you live a balanced life? And these are all different entries for each day. How do you acknowledge mental health and well-being in everyday life? I'm telling you that you are enough. You tell me why. Love. What is your definition of love? How do you like to be shown love by your partner? How do you feel when your partner shows you love based on their own needs as opposed to yours? What do you love most about yourself? What do you love most about your partner or any significant person in your life? How do you express love for your fellow man? And then loss. Describe your most profound loss. How did you recover from your most profound loss? What are you most afraid of losing? How do you mourn loss? How long have you mourned a loss? And who do you share your grief with? So these are some examples of the things. And these things I feel like are important to get you thinking just about life itself and love and just a way to get you started journaling, because I also forgot to mention, journaling is so important because I have my trusty journal that is like, gosh, this thing is probably 30 years old. It had a cover, this blue vinyl cover. The dog chewed it and then I glued it back together. But this is where I started, and it wasn't journaling, but I just was like writing poetry in here. And I would go to write, and I'd get my journal, and I'd write my poetry. And I looked up, and 20 years had gone by, and I had all of these poems, and then I published a book. So I just think that journaling is important. It can lead you to so many things, particularly just clearing your headspace and getting you to think about these things. So. What's the feedback for this journal entry?
Wait, for that particular journal entry? Okay, I just need help.
Yes.
So when I think about your journal entry and when I think about journaling in general, I am not a journaler at all. But I do assign that to my patients, like to journal, I think it's helpful. But I don't know how to say this, like I'm very linear in the way that I think, so I'm feeling a little bit disconnected. Like how do I even like start? I feel like, okay, here's the prompts are great for me, by the way, and then I feel like it probably would just be one line, and which could be fine.
But journaling is your own. It's different for everyone. Most time when you journal, it's free writing. There's no purpose to it. You're just gonna journal each day and you're gonna write when you want. But this, I wanted to embark on a guided journal journey to kind of get you thinking about these things. Do you have a question?
No, because I'm random.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm random, so I might just jot down something and it would be pertaining, but it's still, it's kind of random.
But it's your own.
Yeah.
And that's the point. So this is my own, because this is how my mind works. This is what I think of, like when what is your definition of love? That's where it took me, because that's just me. But everyone is yours. And even though I'm doing this guided 90-day journey, you can write your own thing. You can write whatever you want. It's a suggestion, right? And it's a starting point. And you can start off with the one line of love is a fancy or feeling. And then you just go into writing whatever it is you want. Yeah, it's free. It's free writing. Because I am all about freedom of mind, freedom of thought, and your thoughts will take you wherever it's meant for them to take you to. What are you thinking about?
A lot, but I'm trying to keep it politically correct in this space. But
Okay.
I just feel like when you said, I wanted to just keep on going with the concept of freedom, because I think we're so used to things from a Western way sometimes about how you gotta like color the dots this way, do it this way. This is what the rule is. So I think when you keep on expressing the freedom of this and the decolonization of this, it's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
So like you said, if there's one line like Rhonda's saying, or you're saying, Kim's like, it's some random thoughts. I might like start my journal at 10 o'clock in the morning and then come back at 5 and get another random thought. It could be a song, it could be whatever you want it to be, so there's nothing holding you back, like how am I fitting in with this? It's just what you want it to be, so it's free.
Right.
So thank you for sharing that.
Of course, and then I'm taking notes because I want to get the feedback too. Go ahead.
So are you going to, okay, so I think I've talked to you about this before, but like I feel very, emotional right now for some reason, but very, I don't know, like very confined by my education. I don't know if other people feel this way, but you know, it's like you go to school and everything has to be in the lines, right?
Right.
And it just feels
Yeah,
very,
structure.
yeah, it just feels like, so I want to get out of that, you know? So that's why I'm more kind of listening to what you read and like I admire that, and whether I can get there or not, I guess my journal, and it's all of our own personal, you know, direction that we're taking, I'd really love to be liberated from the structure that my education has placed on me, or the confinement.
The expectation in your mind of what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and but when I think about writing it, I'm like, okay, well, you know, I gotta have, you know, semicolon, you know what I mean? As opposed to just being able to freely do it, so.
Yeah, and that's part of this process too, because like, okay, so I'm starting out here and I'm reading you guys these entries. But when I do the process, I'm going to have the introductory video, like talking about the journaling and the 90 days, and that it's gonna be a guided prompt, and I will be sure to emphasize the freedom of the writing. And then I'm gonna give that first prompt, right? So this is the prompt for tomorrow. So then everyone should be coming to this space with their own ideas, not influenced by what I wrote. But it's your own idea of what you're gonna write and where your writing will take you. And then the next day, I'm gonna share mine, you know, on this platform, and then we're all gonna talk about it. And it's, you know.
See, I'm trying to be greedy. I was hoping that you would do yours first and.
No. Because that's how
I will
it's gonna,
figure it
so
out.
the day one,
Yeah.
which will, I guess, be September 30th, which is 2 days. So I will introduce it and say, okay, here's this journey, kind of that introduction that I gave you guys. I'm gonna film myself, of course. And then I'm gonna say, okay, this is the topic that we'll be starting with tomorrow. And it's gonna be that this will be the first question, what is your definition of love? That's just the best way to start. How do you define love, right? And you're gonna write about that. And you'll write about, you know, like you said, maybe your definition is a one-liner, and then you're gonna explore into wherever your mind takes you, like on whatever it is, because I do believe in freedom. So, okay, so then let's go to loss. I went with the prompt, what are you most afraid of losing? So this is what I said. I am most afraid of losing myself. If you are not careful, you lose yourself in so many ways. It could be a significant other, work, kids, etc. I once lost myself in a man. I was young, 19. He was 11 years older than me, but we were in love. We got married and had a baby. My firstborn, actually. I suddenly realized I was living a life not my own. I was no longer me, a mere sliver of myself, walking around on eggshells, making sure not to make my husband mad. I found out I had lost my voice in order to have peace in my own home. I was a version of myself that he wanted, but that wasn't me at all. Can you imagine waking up one day, looking in the mirror and not recognizing yourself at all? Thinking, who even am I? And how do I get back to myself? Well, I'll tell you, first of all, I found the courage and the strength to leave that man. I realized then that I had to first know who I am and be sure to stand on that in all situations, no matter what. I must always be me, my true, authentic self. So,
The question is, what are you most afraid of losing?
what are you most afraid of losing? So, you know, the question, you ask it and then you're gonna write, you know, my mind, that's where my mind takes me. You know, I go down there, but that's what I thought about in that moment. What I'm most afraid of losing is me, because I've lost it before. And then you get it back, right? So, okay, so now let's do life. I like this question too. How do you acknowledge mental health and well-being in everyday life? So, I said, life moves so fast. Before you know it, the minutes turn into hours, into days, weeks, months, then years. If you don't slow down and realize life is happening, it can literally pass you by. We get so busy in the rat race that your life can become so routine. I think it is important to first of all have awareness of your mental health. Take the time to actually think about how you feel in the moment, in any moment. When you are not okay, you have to realize and acknowledge that you are not okay. That is the only way you can take the steps to ensure your well-being. And what does well-being mean for you? Ask yourself that question. For me, I think self-care, which could be as simple as taking time in the morning for prayer and Bible reading. Literally 10 minutes to start your day positively. But this could be anything: meditation, breathing exercises, or pleasure reading. The point is taking time for yourself and self-care.
Can you restate the prompt, please?
How do you acknowledge mental health and well-being in everyday life?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So it's just kind of thinking about the question, and that's where my mind went. And one of the key things that I think about is breathing exercises. It's so important. People think of that and like it's a whole ordeal, and it's very, very simple. I mean, in the moment, you can find yourself really stressed or like in pain of remembrance, grief or something like that, or anger, and we can just practice it right now because it's very simple. You just take a moment and you take some deep breaths. So we're gonna take a moment, we're gonna inhale as deeply as we can, and then once you can't take any more in, you'll hold it for a brief moment, and then you will exhale. So let's all do that and exhale slowly. So let's all do that about 5 times at your own pace. You're just gonna breathe in as deep as you can. Hold it for just a moment or two. Exhale slowly. And you're gonna do that. Repeat that about 4 more times. Okay. How'd that feel? I know, right? Like, I'm not good, right? But do you see that calming effect that it does? And it just takes a few moments, and it can literally make the difference in changing your mood or your response to something, right? Okay, so those are my 3 prompt entries that I prepared to share today. So now, are there any questions? Any comments?
I just wanna, maybe the first prompt.
Oh, well, I'm gonna get to that. Yeah, so those were just the 3 that I shared.
Oh, okay.
So what I will do is, what I'm thinking is that we can each do a journal entry, 1 for each section, but we'll go a section at a time. So in the order that we're doing is life, so I'll say that you can choose from these 6, like what resonates with you, what you wanna write about in this exercise. So I'll go
For the
around.
life category.
For the life category, and then we'll take, however long you guys want to write, and then we'll discuss, and we'll do that for each section, so we'll. Oh, that's a great area. Can you send it to me if you don't mind?
Sorry.
Yeah.
And then for the life insurance, send it to me. There we
There you
go.
go. And I'll just get a quick shot before you pass me.
Oh,
Pictures.
nice.
Isn't that nice?
I like it when it's- Oh,
Oh, you wanna get a picture?
Yeah, sure, yeah. How so exciting. Thank you.
And what's your name?
Oh, sure.
When you, are those ones that you, when we start on the first though, wait, we'll start with love. Are they gonna be the prompts that are on there, or are you just gonna introduce one? each?
I'm gonna introduce one each day, but the first one is gonna be what is your definition of love?
Okay.
That's gonna be the first one.
So we're starting with life today?
Is that, did I do life?
I'm
Oh,
not sure.
I sure did, which is out of order, but.
That's when love lost life.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
supposed to be love, loss, and then life, so I should have put them in the right order.
So you want us to pick something from love?
From love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know, how do you guys want to do it? It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
We can do life, sure, that's.
We can just do
We
it.
are flexible.
First day.
We can just do life since we started with it, we'll do life and then
Okay,
loss and then
okay.
love. Yeah.
Oh, just, we start writing on it.
Yeah, we answer.
Is that
Okay, cool. Alright, let me. Here you wanna go do some of Thank you.
Yeah, so we can absolutely, absolutely. Because it's like a guide to, you know, get you started and you can totally customize it.
Yeah.
Because that's,
Thank you.
for you taking some deep breaths. It's harder when you have a little. Okay. So we're gonna do life, so you guys can just pick one, I'm gonna do another entry with you guys. Oh, Skylar, did you get the, are you gonna? Oh, I didn't know. Huh? Ina? Oh, that's right.
Okay, I'm freeforming here.
Okay, yeah, do that.
Can you just meet every day so you can walk me through this? Right? I need to wake up to your Facebook.
In the morning, like, okay, it's time. What doesn't make sense? Wait, what doesn't make sense? Mhm. Yeah, good.
Baby steps.
Yeah. Okay, how's everybody doing? Would anyone like to share their entry? Okay, let's go. We got our first one. Which prompt did you choose?
I chose, how are you grateful in life?
Oh, great. I chose that too.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I should've said that. Come on. I did.
Showing off, okay. Okay, but everyone know I got issues, so don't be patient. Okay. I show my gratitude in life by showing up. I show up for my family, my friends, and myself. I try to be as authentic as I can. I try to be honest. I feel a deep responsibility to my ancestors for the struggles they have overcome so that I can achieve in life. And for them, I am truly grateful. I don't let opportunities pass me by to show my appreciation for all that I have. I advocate for those who do not have a voice as a way to show my gratitude for all that I have.
I love that. I love your entry. And see, that's what I mean about freedom, because I love where your thought process and your voice took you. It's so different from me. And that's what I think the beauty in sharing in this process is, the different ways of thinking and the different, where that thinking takes you. Because we're all on a journey, and I love being on your journey, like in your mind too. Yeah. Okay. Any thoughts on, Monster Entry?
I appreciate her sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, would anyone else like to share? Come on. Would you like someone else to read it for
I
you?
don't know, 'cause it's too random.
That's the way it's go. Okay. Anybody else?
I can share mine, but it's all over the place. Which is, maybe it'll open the door for
But
other
that's
people.
the point.
It's chaotic. So I picked, how do I live a balanced life? Well, that's the question. These days I wanna prioritize myself. I wanna focus on healthy eating, staying active, enjoying my home because it's tidy, pouring love into my garden, and spending quality time with my family and friends. So, I am managing most of that each day, and also, well, I don't really have an also. I am blessed with a good job and coworkers that I like. I find my mind is cluttered, and I am navigating compassion fatigue. I'm not sure.
That's okay. That's okay. Thank you for sharing what you did share. I appreciate that. And I like, again, like the way different people's avenues, the way your mind works and where it takes you, because it's just a good thought process, because really what I think about is manifesting, right? Because I firmly believe that thoughts become things. So when we get to thinking about this, like you chose, how do you live a well-balanced life? Is that the prompt you chose?
Yeah, how do I live a balanced life?
And to do that, you have to think about it. You have to, if you don't, you wanna think about, you wanna do that, right? These are things that we wanna do, but if we don't consciously think about it, are we doing it? We're just caught in that routine of life, and we go and go and go. So when you think about, what does that look like for me? And then you write it down, well, then you're more than halfway there of doing it, of being it, you know? So,
Thank you for sharing.
yeah. Anyone else? Would anyone else like to share? Yeah.
It was strange how I, just the one that you had come up with, acknowledging mental health, and I started writing things down, and the first one that came was focus on the positive, and then it was the weirdest thing. A very, very old song, I looked it up to get, Bing Crosby. Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. And then I thought, you know, I've always loved music and singing, and I thought, hey, I think I should focus a little bit more on that, because my brain in these days is so scattered. I can't follow a single thought without going off in like 10 different directions and forget where I was going in the first place.
Right. And that's the good part about journaling. It kind of brings your focus in. And even if you're off on these you're getting it out of your head and on the page, and then you're clearing your mind for the day or for whatever you wanna do.
And to have that song come in.
Yeah, that's so funny because I think I have a prompt in here, let me see if I can find it. Cause it was something about a song, which is so funny that you say that. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, one of my questions, you'll get a sneak peek into another one of the questions, but the emotions of love are often expressed through song. What song do you equate with love, good or bad? What does it make you feel? Or how does it make you feel? So that was like one of the, so it's funny that you brought that up because that's
Well,
gonna
it's funny
come.
that my brain went there.
Yeah.
You have no idea why.
I think that's the beauty in journaling too. All these things that are like randomly in your brain that just come out of nowhere, and then they come down on the page, and then you may think of a memory of something or someone, or, good or bad, and you get it out and get it off of you, or, celebrate it, or get rid of it, or whatever it is. So it's really a healthy habit.
I appreciate that too, you sharing that, because, I guess I'm thinking, okay, what do I need to write down? But when you said, like, I just thought of, this song popped into my head in response to that, and that's an option, like, it doesn't have to be so much work. It's like, okay, well, if that's just there, then can I write that down, because that's where I am right now. I appreciate that.
Well, and then I wanna point out, Raphael brought up a good point, because one of the questions was, how did you get over your most profound loss, or something like that, and she said, well, what if you're still in it? And I thought, well, that's perfect, because we kind of talked about that, the freedom in the journaling, you make it fit you, and you may not even want to do the prompts, it may be uncomfortable for you, or you just don't like it. You do your own, make up your own prompt, for the day, and share it on the journey.
I ain't doing that, but
But it is, because how do you write about something you don't connect with?
that's right.
When you're thinking,
Okay.
this is the question of the day, this is the journal prompt of the day, but it may be weird to you, or you may have a mental block for it. So, whatever you feel in the moment. Or even if it's the question, you just start writing, that's free writing, back to college, free writing, right? Okay, this is the question, but just write, it doesn't matter what you're writing about, just write, pen, paper, have it moving, and whatever comes out on the page comes out on the page. And you'd be surprised where you end up. Yeah. Okay, so should we move on to the next section? Let's move on to loss, because I don't wanna end on loss. So does anyone need to see the prompts again? And you can pick a prompt for loss. Oh, I didn't share what I wrote too. I forgot about that. Does anyone else need to see this? You can hold on to it. I'm gonna read, this is what I wrote, which is, how are you grateful in life? I try to be grateful in life in all things. For me, it's literally the little things in life that I'm most grateful for. Like beautiful trees. I really love trees. I just really do. I'm grateful for hearing birds chirping and seeing pretty flowers. I'm grateful for the love of my family. I actually find a lot of pleasure in feeling grateful for these great many things. It just brings me joy. When you feel grateful for the air you breathe, it makes you a lot happier in life. This makes it easy to really enjoy being grateful for the big things in life too. Also, this helps when one or more of the big things are no more. Even when there are no big things to be grateful for, you realize so many of the little things that are always present. There is always something to be grateful for. Life is about perspective, and being grateful in life will shift your perspective to positivity. This is something that I strive for on a daily basis. Okay, so we're gonna do loss. Does anyone need to see this?
Thank you.
So now we will pick a prompt, one of, whichever one resonates with you, or like I said, make up your own.
I haven't heard that for a minute. You're hustling. By the way, just made my day saying you're hustling.
We all do it.
I mean, it's there.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm gonna send around a sign-in sheet also. A little birdie whispering in my ear.
It's a really nice hardcover. Really nice. Really sitting in the park with that.
I'm so sorry. I don't think I'll try to cook it out. I'm so sorry. We're doing a journal exercise. Come on in. Did you bring a journal?
I came from church.
Okay. I have journals here, but then I also just have paper. You want paper? Do you have a pen?
I do.
So you can buy a journal. Just give me a sheet of paper so you can go on with that.
Oh, look at. I should have brought it
No,
with
it's fine, it's
me.
fine. That's okay.
Cause I have all my.
Just come on in, just come on in. Good, how are you? We're on Ross, so you can pick one of these prompts and I share some. I can come over here as soon as you can sit down and start getting relaxed. Exactly, that's what we were pointing out. Cause we were talking about different prompts and stuff and,
That's it.
Lauren, are you gonna, I know you said you're gonna do your prompt the next day, but are all the prompts gonna be on? Like, we'll know what to do the next day.
At the end of, when I share my prompt, my journal entry for the day, I will end with the journal question for the following day.
Okay, so the first one we already have to get.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'll do the intro, and I'll say, like, this is what we're gonna do, we're gonna start tomorrow, I'm gonna give my background and history and stuff, and then I'll give that first prompt. And then that next day, I'll start with that prompt, I'll start with my entry, I may talk about my entry a little bit, or I may just read it, and then I will end with the journal entry for the next day.
Okay.
And that's how every day will go.
Is that through email or Facebook or how?
Facebook through social
Okay.
media. I'll do a
Okay.
full social media push, so it'll be on Instagram, TikTok,
Okay.
Facebook, I think I have a YouTube page, I'm not sure what it is, but Marion the Poet. It's Marion the Poet, and my pages are public. Across all platforms.
May I ask,
Hmm?
recording,
And
for those of us that didn't have a session, are you going to post the recording so we can watch it?
the recording of this, yes. You know what, I will have to look into YouTube, because that will support this longer time frame. But yeah, I can post it, see how that is. I know. So yeah, because I was recording for myself, just to kind of, do that feedback and kind of play back for myself, but I think that is a great idea. Kind of post it and say, okay, this would be a really great introduction.
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right, and we could even share it with folks, and encourage others to come and join you.
That would be great. I know.
That's the idea. That's the idea. I sent you a friend request.
Pick up your water. Oh, she sent you a friend request.
Oh, perfect, okay, I'll look at it and, yeah, but, okay, so,
Come on in, pick it up.
would anyone like to share their entry? It's a heavy one, loss. Come here, you wanna come up here with me? Come on. Okay. So would anyone like to share their journal entry on loss, on what they picked? Anybody? Beulah?
That was too heavy for me.
Beulah?
I went back to life. I
Yeah.
did more to life.
Yeah, yeah. Or did anyone,
I'll share.
go with it? Okay. Marcus, here we go.
Only because I feel safe. Honestly, I would not be sharing.
Which prompt did you choose?
I picked, how long have you mourned loss? Okay, so this might be morbid, but this is just what came to me. Okay, now I'm stuck. Okay, I think I am still mourning the loss of my dear friend, Mitrice. There is a hole in my heart because her life was not complete. I feel compelled to remind the world that she was here on this earth and in doing so, the mourning gets a little easier, at times, but I don't fight the grief anymore. I accept that the pain and the magnitude of her death on my life is now a part of my life, and I live with it. I think that mourning her life is part of who I am, and while it sounds like a bad thing, it is not anymore. The mourning, grief, and pain in some ways makes me whole. When I denied that I was in mourning for this loss for so long, I was miserable. Now that I've decided to accept that it's okay to mourn the loss, even if it's until the end of my own life, this revelation has brought me peace.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. And I don't find that to be morbid at all. I mean, death is a part of life. It's something that we will all deal with, in our life and us at the end of our life, And when we face these losses, it makes us face our own mortality. It makes us think about it and the weight of it is on us. And I think you're right. It is a weight that you, carry and you just don't, sometimes it just doesn't go anywhere. A lady came in and was talking to me because I shared about losing my dad, and she's like, you know, how long ago was it and how are you doing? And I'm like, it's still there. So it is something that you carry. And that's exactly why I wanted to sandwich loss in the middle, because it's too heavy of a topic to go on. So love is, I think, a good opening, and then we get into the loss because it's good to, you know, process it out. And then life, to start anew, because even though we go through death and we know that death is coming for us, we have to live. We have to learn to live through the grief, through the pain, through the good times, through it all. So, thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Pam?
Yeah, and can you repeat the question again for everyone, the one that I answered, it was number 2.
Oh, yes, it was, how did you recover from your most profound loss? And then she said, what if I'm still recovering, which is kind of what Raphael said as well, so.
Yeah. And as you shared, you know, I know I'll probably carry this, you know, till the end of my own life. However, for me, I did find a road for healing. It says I'm still on the road of healing from my little sister's passing in 2016. I'm in a healthier place and recounting her memory with thoughts of joy and laughter more now than the thoughts of her suffering. I have so many cherished memories. I also honor her on her birthday and throughout the month of October. I have leaned into my family over the years, and it was a family member who introduced me to Grief Share, which is a faith-based grief and loss recovery. It's a 13-week program. I went through this program twice. I realized I had to go through it again. Because I went through it the first time and I was there, but I wasn't there. The second time, I was able to ingest so much more. And then I was challenged at my church to become a facilitator. And I conducted 4 13-week sessions because I knew that it was gonna help me. If I facilitate and help someone else, I'm going to be helped. And I did that for a year. And this was so critical in helping me to heal. And I learned to lean into grief, to let it roll in like a wave. Eventually, it will roll back out. And that's the one major takeaway. And as I let it roll in and roll out over the years and lean into it, I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. I really do. There were so many key things that you said in there. It was like hard to keep track, but especially the ending, the grief, letting it roll in and roll out, because it's such a natural process. It's like the ocean coming in. It makes you think of your own heartbeat. It just takes you into life itself. So I think that's great. And one of the best ways to learn is to teach or facilitate, because you get so much out of it. So I love that you just had the strength and the courage to do that, you know, to be in the process and then be the process and then help other people. I thought that was beautiful. Thank you. Ms. Rodriguez.
Yeah, can I tell you, you got me over here Googling Grief Share.
I know, I was thinking the same
You are
thing.
so welcome.
Thank you for sharing.
You are so welcome.
Can you tell me which location were you at?
So I went to the one in Pomona, the big church right there on the corner of Holt and, they read it Purpose.
It says Purpose Church,
So I was at that one.
Thank you.
However, they have them all over. Diamond Bar even has them.
Yeah, I see it.
I had no idea about it, but I went, my mom and I went together. And at the very first session, we knew we were supposed to be there. We knew we were supposed to be
Well,
there.
thank you for sharing
You
that.
are so welcome.
Thank you for presenting this, because this is exactly the type of enrichment that I thought and I had hoped for, that it's not just the journaling, it's learning from others and then learning. So thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. it's a heavy topic. Okay. Okay. Come on, my dear.
Okay.
Which prompt did you choose?
This one, laws, describe your most profound loss.
Okay.
Mine is very simple, loss of a special loved one that you will never see again in the flesh, period.
Yeah. That's a full stop statement. Thank you for sharing. And it's, that, I think that brings out something that's so important too, what you said, because you'll never see them in the flesh, but they are with you. They'll always, always be with you. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, take all the time you need. I think I'm gonna like break and read a poem. This is kind of like what got me started, the loss of my father.
What was it, Maria?
It was about 2.5 years ago. But I'll read, this is one of the favorite ones that I have, and it's Blowing in the Wind, Part 2. Ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. That's what the Lord said when teeth gnashes, because there's pain in the trust. What do we do when the body dies? Do we put it in the ground to rot? Or set it free to fly with the butterflies, like blowing out a daisy, saying, forget me not. I'll never forget the love I have for my dad, not past tense, but the present. Because in turning his body to ash, I'm able to keep it with me in my everyday life, like a present. Even in keeping him, I'm also able to set him free. Some ashes to spread, some ashes to keep. And the person setting him free is me. As the wind takes him, I silently weep. Freeing him from the mountaintops, freeing him on the beach, freeing him while my tears drop, freeing him while my voice has no speech. Freeing him as I free my grief, freeing him to free myself, freeing him for his relief, freeing him from sitting on a shelf. And now he is free, free from this world and all the pain, and the person freeing him is me. Okay. I will share, my entry, I got a little distracted, I was like 3/4 of the way done, but I'll share what I got. I chose, who do you share your grief with? Which is, a really important question, right? And when you think about it, so this is what I said. Grief is so heavy. It's a hard thing to share just from the weight of it. It weighs heavy on your chest. You wear it like a coat. How do you share something like that? I guess it would help if others were experiencing the same grief or even similar grief to that of your own. But what if there is no one that shares in that grief? Can you share it with someone that's not grieving? I feel so guilty doing that. It helps, I think, to share your grief, but feeling so wholly devastated, what does that do to the person you share it with? The flip side of the coin is that grieving alone is the absolute worst. It somehow makes it worse. So I'll have to finish that prompt. I'm kind of facilitating, so it maybe a little difficult, but I feel like this is just really important because in the sharing, like you said, the interaction and getting information from other people, and even in the feeling, you get it off of you. Like I believe it. You wear it like a coat, and you gotta take that coat off. You can't walk around with that coat on all day, every day, in the summertime, and the heat, Yeah.
And you realize you're not the only one wearing a heavy coat.
You certainly are not. You certainly are not.
One of the things I learned too in Grief Share was that, it's a safe place when you're in a community of other sometimes when you're, do you tell somebody who's not in grief? Will they understand? You feel almost afraid to burden them, And the other thing I learned, was for people who do go back to work, some people are not able to take time away after the funeral. You're required to go, but what do you do with all that?
Within days.
Within days. I wanted the whole world to stop when my sister passed. Like, why isn't the world stopping? My sister is gone. But people have their lives, and then you wind up having to go back to work, and you're carrying all this, and I guarantee you are not gonna perform. You're not engaged. And so one of the things, we learned too, some of the people that had, expressed, they wrote letters to their bosses, and wrote a letter just kind of to their coworkers, the ones that were close to them. Hey, I may not be, the same jovial person, this is, and just to let them know that, hey, this is where I'm at. Now, whether or not they respond back, because some people, or respect that, at least you kind of put it out there, and maybe to talk to your supervisor, your boss, about where you're at and how you're feeling, even though you're there, to help them understand, because we all grieve differently. And I was very angry. I was very angry, initially. Of course, that emotion changed, but I was very angry. So and I'm not that person. Everybody knows me, but I was not somebody you wanted to be around initially. So your emotions are gonna switch on and off. There's gonna be different things, and I grieve differently than my mother. Everyone in the family grieve differently, and you have to respect that.
And some people grieve by not showing any emotion at all. They shut down. It's too much, And then that's pretty dangerous, because then where does it manifest itself? Because it's not gone, you buried it, but it's in there,
And it is important to lean into it, because if you bury it, it will manifest in your body. It'll come out.
Yes, that's true.
It will come out. So it is important to have a release, because you will absorb it. A year after my sister's passing, and they say many times after a year, you literally almost think sometimes you're in denial. But when that year anniversary comes up, they say that is one of the hardest days, because you finally understand that your loved one is not coming back. You finally sit into the realization that they're not coming back. And it takes almost a year to get there. And when you realize that, and I didn't understand it until it happened to me. So.
That's a good point. When I lost my grandmother, I know it was at least a year, it might have been 2, that I would pick up the phone on a daily basis to call her.
Oh, yeah.
And I would, mid-phone call, like dialing the number, like, she's not here. Hootie. For over a year. I would, any significant event, any just daily life, because I talk to her every day, and it was at least a year, I know, before I stopped doing that.
Because we hold them so dear.
I really, really appreciate it, because it can be so delayed. For those of us that are children that are the ones that have to take care of it, when the other siblings won't. So it's just come on the year. And now, of all of the executor of the estate, all the other business, trying to close things out, now is the time to face it. I didn't have the bandwidth to focus on it before, so.
Which is why it's so important, after the funeral has come and gone, after everyone's around, that's when your friends, your loved ones really need the support.
When it gets real quiet.
When it gets real quiet.
That's right.
Anything else to share? Not even a journal prompt, but anything else that you want to add or say?
I was just thinking of, an interesting experience with grief is when people just look at you when you tell them. So I had a loss earlier this year and, was talking to coworkers and, I've been out for whatever, and I said, oh, this person in my life passed, and it's really interesting, some people just blank, like, not even really a comment. So that was interesting, and I just, chose to accept that as, that's their experience and how they're managing death and grief. But it was so shocking, because it was so awkward.
Right.
Because then we're just standing there and it's like, so, and then I pivoted, because it was such a bizarre, and it was a significant loss, and so it was just so surprising. But it's not like that's the only person, I don't know if other people have experienced that, but that is, I think that's something that we don't prepare people who are in mourning to,
Yes.
like, this will happen, you will share this very, like, how did the world not stop?
Right.
And people don't even have a word for you. And you just have to move forward. They're not your people, and they're not available for that, and it's not a criticism or fault, that's that truth. But I think I will forever move forward with that in my mind now, that as you navigate the world and you talk to people, that there will be people who, not because they don't care about you, but who will just stare at you blankly. And then you're gonna have to figure out how to get out of that conversation or move through that conversation. So I am also sharing that with other people, like, hey, be prepared. People, I think like you said, people navigate grief so differently, and some people just may not even have a word for you. Be ready for that, and don't be surprised or hurt by that.
Right.
Yeah.
That is interesting because you're used to the awkwardness and the exchange, but not, I wouldn't expect that, the blankness, like where
Yeah.
there's nothing. That is pretty strange, because oftentimes people don't know what to say. So
Right.
they'll say something, or they'll say my condolences, or I'm sorry for your loss, which I wrote a poem about that, but
Yeah.
I call it 5 meaningless words. I'm sorry for your loss, it's what everybody says, but what does that mean? What do I do with that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You are? Like, okay. So, yeah, it is important to kind of think about that and expect that, and then, like, how you pivot, because
Yeah.
whoever you're interacting with, the level of relationship you have with that person, someone in passing, okay, it's easy to just kind of go on about your way, but what if it's someone you have to interact with on an ongoing basis? How do you move past that? So, that's very, very different.
Come back to what you said about after the service of a funeral,
Yeah.
you left by yourself to figure things out, just sitting there, no one there. It's like the funerals are for the living, but what about the immediate person?
After.
Everybody come and eat, rejoice and party, whatever you wanna call it, and you sitting there grieving. And everybody's having a funky good old ass time, excuse my language.
But I feel like you get the blank stare, cause I've gotten it like a lot. But I feel like you get the blank stare from people that just, as soon as they hear something sad, and I feel like it does come sometimes, like it could come from the people that are really close to you, because they just automatically tune out like anything bad happening to you. So it's like, as soon as you start talking about like something terrible that you like just have to deal with, this stuff that they can do about it, they just tune it out, like they're not even in the room with you anymore.
And trigger words. People say things, I don't know if they just don't think or just blurt stuff out. You can be in a circle and somebody may have, oh, you've been there before, you know what it's like to have a loss. That just irks my nerves, just looking,
So, flip it, as if it's no big deal.
yeah, you've been there before, you've dealt with this before, and they just like, you're not knowing, fool, I'm still dealing with it. I'm just, oh my goodness.
Yeah, and don't pull me into it. I don't need to be pulled into it at this moment. Because I think that's the other thing, it's not just a trigger and flippant, but also like, why would you put me there today?
Right.
Why would you bring me there? I think what I was hearing from you is loneliness, like, it is so incredibly like when you were talking, it was like, what I was feeling was loneliness, like you're in a room with someone who cares about you and they just, to protect themselves, or maybe even, they don't even realize it. But what an incredibly lonely moment that is, to be in that moment containing what you're containing, and then to be met with nothing. It is hard.
It's very, very, very hard. And, you know, as you mentioned, very close family members, you know, and you're sitting there and they're grieving differently, of course. But you're sitting in this car, traveling to Arizona with them, and all of a sudden they put on all this music that my sister and I used to dance and sing to. And I'm trapped in this car on an 8-hour trip going to Arizona, and they're grieving, but they're finding joy in the music and everything, and I am looking out the window, crying my eyes out, because I don't want them to see me crying, because they're handling it differently. But I'm trapped now. All the memories of me and my sister dancing to all these songs were flooding me, and I was tore up.
How
And
did you handle that?
I knew that I had to lean into it and just cry. Just cry for as long as I needed to cry. And then, after it went out and I sat there quietly, eventually I was able to sing a song or two with them. Eventually. But it took a while, and it was hard.
Well, and you were forced into it.
I was forced into it, and I had to fight my feelings of anger, because I didn't want them to feel angry. I mean, I didn't want to feel angry at them, because they, you know, I mean, we're enjoying a road trip together. But yeah, that just came to me after you were talking. I was like, oh my God, I remember that now. And people just don't, you know, it's very awkward, as you said, it's very awkward. However, you were able to recognize that I'm the one that needs to pivot at this point, because they don't know what to do with this. They don't know what to do with it. So I need to pivot. And you go with the understanding that you learned that people, you can't expect much from people. You can't expect it.
Right.
And, so, yeah.
So may I add that I've seen it as an opportunity to learn. Not only do people have the blank stare, sometimes they say dumb shit.
Right. Yeah.
And I have learned to extend grace, right? So that's been growth for me. So, when my mother was murdered, and people would say, oh, I killed him.
Oh,
That's not helpful.
no.
That's not helpful. Right? But I also have extended grace, because what would they say in that moment sometimes? That's shocking for people.
Yeah.
So it's a process for all of us. And I'm trying to extend that grace to them as well.
Grace is very important.
It really is.
Because when you think about it, people have no idea what to say. Oftentimes they put their foot in their mouth, they talk too much, you know. An example, and it's lost in a different way, but if someone's house is burning down and they're sitting out there and the fire department is coming, and you come to that person, is there anything you could say in that moment that's gonna make them feel better?
Not a thing. Not a
So,
thing.
it's a difference of sitting in the silence with the person and letting them know that you're there for them, than like the blank stare, the no reaction at all. And it could be as simple, I'm here for you, or, you know, anything like that, but people are just people, I guess.
Yeah, and they relate to it just so differently, you know. I remember one woman, I was telling her about the grief share class, and, you know, told her about, you know, how safe it is to, you know, talk about the loss of your loved one, and I'd be very gentle. And she's like, oh, she says, I need to come. She says, because my beloved cat, died, and I mean, she was getting emotional about the cat. This was her baby, her family, all she had. And in my heart, I wanted to clutch my pearls in my heart, because I'm like, oh my God, why I thought we were talking about a human loss.
Right.
But to her, it was her cat. And I was struggling. But I realized, I said, put yourself in her shoes.
Right. Did you have, pets growing up?
Yes. However, because my dad was in the military, we moved, so we would have to give the cats to or the dogs to the neighbor when we
Right,
left, so
right.
I didn't become that attached.
Well, cause that makes a difference.
But it makes a difference.
If you are not a person that has had
Right.
pets, you look at it very differently. And when you are a person that has pets, it's very different. And I learned that the hard way, honestly, because I thought about people, crying over that. I never had pets growing up. And I was still young though, I was about 19. And we got 2 dogs, 2 Rottweilers. And at about 3 months old, they caught a carnival. And we lost one of them, and I cried for 3 days. I did. So it just opened my eyes to be able to understand that other person's perspective, where it's like, because if you think about like who you share your grief with, right? And what if you don't have any, like, what if you don't have any family, and then this
And
person
these
says
animals
cat.
they're pure love.
Yeah,
These animals
yeah.
are pure love, that's all they give.
And then you're talking about this deep loss you have with your sister, and then someone's talking about a cat, and you're like, but
That's when I extend that
Like-
grace.
life is
that's
about
when you're-
perspective.
That's right.
This is what you can relate to, it's very
Right.
different than the world that I've lived.
And it's
very different than my
It is
experience.
definitely perspective
It
and
is.
grace, definitely.
Perspective.
Although we couldn't, now in grief share, you cannot, it's only human loss, so if you do look into grief share, you can't, I
think that's good.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know
good.
that they have special, groups for that, but I know in grief share, it's primarily human loss versus, pets.
I think too, we just have to find our people. I know, both of my parents have passed on, and I think it was just like more of a natural process as they got older, that kind of thing. That seemed a little bit more, manageable. But I will tell you, there's a hierarchy of grief, or at least I feel like, now Lisa's my best friend, so I can tell my bullshit, her bullshit, so, we gotta do that. But there's a hierarchy, like, my Treese was my intern and my friend, I am not allowed to grieve, and people are very clear.
Yeah.
You can't cry more than the mother, you can't grieve more than the mother, you can't, or the father, you're not a family member, so therefore, it does not count. So you got 15 minutes, and that's about it. So for me, I got my friends, that's not something that I usually put out there, because I cannot tolerate. I'm hearing, like, but that wasn't your blood relatives, or that, that wasn't your sister, that wasn't whatever, I can't even tolerate it. So I found, my people cause I will go straight the fuck off if the baby's not in here. But I will, that's so touchy for me, but it is about extending grace. Like, I get that people may not get that, they don't have my experience, so I don't even wanna put myself in that position where they're gonna say something that will cause me to lose it. And so I've just found certain people that I know that those are the safe spaces that I can go. But I also see how that attitude that we have, I think, in the world of hierarchy of grief, it really has complicated the grieving process for me, because some of that crap, I not anymore, but in the first 10 years, I believed it also. That, well, she was my daughter, or she was my whatever, so it doesn't really count. So because I was holding on to that too, then that, I think, complicated things. Once I released that, it's been a little bit easier. But I do have, like, really good friends that I'll cry in a minute. I mean, it'll go on for hours, I don't even care. I gotta take them out to lunch, and I gotta be pampered and all that. But people can say some things that are really cruel, but I do think it really is about extending grace,
And can I just add an addendum to that? When I'm extending grace, I'm also protecting Raphael. There's a bunch of people that I can't mess with you anymore.
Right.
That's it.
Oh,
We are.
yes.
Boundaries are up.
Check
So,
it out.
so I'm
very
extending that
important.
grace, that, some of it's for them,
Yeah.
but it's for me as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
So.
But I wanted to say, with you kind of took me back to the journal entry I did about love, what's the definition of love? And one of the things that my mind took me to was, in the caring for, you build this really deep love, right? and it can even be after someone is gone. Because you did a lot of care for her after. You got a lot of justice for her. You did a lot of work. And that should never be minimized, ever, ever. Yeah, yeah.
One thing that I've been like learning about lately is how so many people are just socially awkward.
Yes.
I don't know if it's with us like being so much more like online and people not actually having real like face-to-face interactions with people as much, like especially at a deep level. People are just socially awkward. They don't know what to say. And even now that I've been learning about people being socially awkward, even like I have been socially awkward sometimes, so that makes me be like much more forgiving of like inappropriate things that people do, because I know that there have been times where I look back at them, like you could have a moment and then you walk away from it and you're like, oh my god, like what was that?
Yeah. I'm like, why did I say that?
Yeah, why did I react like that? That wasn't even me. Can we rewind time and I'm gonna start from scratch, like especially with me, like a lot of people too, we're dealing with grief, we have like PTSD and stuff like that can just change your whole brain chemistry. Because I know after, I'm not the same person, even though I'm trying to be the same person I was before every day. After getting robbed and stuff, like, I never thought something like getting robbed could like change your life so much, but it changed me like the way I socially interact with other people. So, but it's also made me like more forgiving when other people slip up or like do awkward things, because I'm like, I don't know what they've been through that causes them to like be like that.
It's like a loss of innocence, the innocence of being able to go in the world with this freedom that I talked about, right? Well, the freedom. When you have PTSD, when you've gone through that, when, you know, something like that happens, you're not as free. You're not allowed to have the freedom. Me having the career that I have, a career in law enforcement, I'm not free. I don't walk around the world seeing sunshine and rainbows around every corner. I look at people's ankles. I watch the exits. I'm analyzing everything. I'm preparing to run to a fight, away from a fight. If I have so it changes everything about you. It really, really does. And then there was something else I wanted to say to you too, which is that you were talking about the levels of grief and you're not allowed to do this or that. And it makes me think of all these societal norms that they put out that are like these rules, when nothing in life is normal. There's nothing normal about it. We're all individuals and we all, you know, have different feelings, and, you know, the level of grief that you have is probably, or could have possibly been deeper than other people who they were extending. Now everyone, the world is giving grace to all this person who may not really care all that much, or as much as you. Yeah. So the grace is going where by default to places it shouldn't. Or not that it shouldn't, but where it would be better served somewhere else if they didn't have this construct in their mind. Yeah.
If it went where it was real.
And people even judge your grief like based on like the current time that someone passed away in their life. Like if you were friends with someone for 10 years but you moved away or something, so your relationship isn't as close, sometimes people will act like whoever was their close friend at that moment, even if you just moved away a month ago, they're the one, like they were the person in their life now. And it's like, I had 10 years with this person, like, you know, but that's why when it comes to anything, like when it comes to other people's relationships, like even grief, it's a part of like your relationships with other people. You shouldn't judge, because only people that, and I don't judge myself like for how I react or grieve or deal with like situations from person to person, because you can't judge from the outside of any relationship. Like me and Marty are cousins, like nobody really knows how close both of us are. They don't know if we talk every day. They don't know the conversations that we've had. Like, you know, like even my own mom won't know how close I really am with Marty or Skylar. Like, you know, so they wouldn't necessarily know how I would grieve if, you know.
Yeah, very true. Okay.
That's why it's in the middle, huh?
Exactly. That's why
It's in the middle.
I have definitely proven my own point. But it's, so, yeah.
For grief, I just think that, like, the whole idea that it's like, okay, you started here, and now we're at the end, you've gotten better,
Yeah.
there's been improvement, when like realistically, it's very, like, non-linear. So, like, even like me, separated from my son's father, it'll be 2 years in October, which, you know, I'm happy with my choice, all these things, but one thing that, like, always gets me is, like, anger, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a grieving process.
Yeah, it is, and that's funny, I was trying to keep this little cat in the bag, but it's okay. Hi, welcome, come on in, hi. It's, one of the things that I'm gonna talk about in this process is the 7 stages of grief. So we're gonna talk about that in one of the prompts, and then we're gonna dive into each one. So that'll be in there, yeah, so we can kind of work it out.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. But this shows, like, this right here, this conversation, right, how it expanded, and this is exactly what I want to happen on the journey. Because we learn so much from other people, and like the resources and how you cope, and other people sharing just opens your eyes to things that you wouldn't have thought about in the moment. So, I think that's a good close for the loss part.
I would just like to share one thing, I'm really appreciating this experience, because I think my first prompt was about balance,
Mm-hmm.
and as you were all talking about extending grace, I was recognizing how being stuck where I am in this moment has made it very difficult for me to extend grace, just because I'm tired, and I'm trying to take care of myself, and I'm not necessarily safe in certain circles right now in my life. And so, I've been very angry, to protect myself.
Right.
And also just to call, but like call BS for BS.
Right.
So, but I appreciate what everybody's been sharing, because it brought me back to, I abide in grace, right? And I'm very much a person who has benefited from where grace is given, grace is shown. And so, as everybody was sharing, I was like, oh, it's about this place and this environment that I'm in, that I really need to figure out, how do I come back to myself? And it's interesting, because that was my first journal, was like, how do I find balance? Because I was like, oh, in my little home, and then I was like, and then I really got stuck in the journal prompt there, because I was like, and I don't know. And, well, here we go.
But that's the good part, that you can get stuck on the journal page, which really shows you're stuck in here, and then you will consciously or subconsciously start thinking, how do I get unstuck? What else do I have to say? And even if you leave the journal unfinished, you can come back to it. You know, your mind will pop in. The mind is an amazing thing.
Well, and I got to say the things I didn't want to say, which is why I started crying. Things I've been trying not to say.
And you said something really important, which is safety. You have identified where you are not safe with people who you are not safe with, and where you are. And that's very important, because it goes to the boundaries, like being and finding a safe space for yourself, and then creating boundaries for yourself, and knowing how to operate when you are in those spaces, which is very important.
And then anger is such a big, red flag for me, like, oh, you're coming from this place, and it's really about, like, protecting myself, but also probably a righteous response to an experience. Thank you.
Okay, oh, you're welcome. I think this was great. So now, like, that's perfect why it's in the middle, because it is kind of, that's not something you wanna end this 90-day journey on. So, so now we will do love. So we will pick a journal prompt for love. Do you see?
Yes.
I'll bring it up there.
Oh, no, it's okay.
We're gonna do a journal entry with a prompt for love. Does anyone else need to? Oh, you did have it? Oh, you can just pick one for love.
confirm the timing on this for 90 days. So is it daily and then we will meet weekly or monthly? What's the plan?
So it's daily, it will
On
be
your
on
own.
social media, on your own,
Got it.
and it'll be on social media.
Got it?
And then you can interact with the social media, so you can comment, or, I mean, I don't know, we could meet again, because I think meeting is really good.
I think we should meet at least once, like at the beginning of each new you know,
Section.
sure, yeah.
Once a month.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's what I was just trying to clear up, so I can lock the time of year.
Yeah.
We should do that.
Okay, once a month.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome, thank you for the offer.
You did your first?
Yeah, I have a,
Okay.
and then you can, and I brought a couple pieces of paper. It's a journal exercise. Have you ever done a journal, like journaling? Right. So usually with the journal, some people journal each day, you know, a daily journal, which is whatever they want, but then this is more like a guided journal. Yeah, kind of, yeah, like a diary.
A meditation.
So, yeah, or meditation. So, we went through the sections, and we're gonna do love now. This is the last section. So you can just pick a prompt or do your own and just write whatever you want. And then, some people share, some people don't, so, but it's just to do the exercise to kind of, you know, get used to journaling. And you see the benefits of it, because that's the point.
And I have to rewrite my
The-
answers all.
The benefits.
I can journal do my own writing.
I need a script.
Oh. You need more paper? But I'll skip with you. Oh, a piece of paper. I take a picture. Oh, okay.
That's what I should have done.
Oh, sure. And then here's some paper for you.
For writing down
To
the.
write, yeah, and write your journal entry.
So this is prompt, we write something
Mhm.
according to what's prompted.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So you just pick one and where I'm gonna do it.
Sign your sheet.
And this is one for love. like to share their journal entry? Okay.
Oh, I've got the question.
Oh, which prompt did you pick? Let's see, I'll show you.
And the,
For love.
for that. Describe the most, oh no, okay. Okay, what is your definition of love?
Okay, okay. What is your definition of love?
Unconditional.
I love that.
Okay. Once again, full stop, like, that's it.
Period.
One word and you said it.
Because
Right.
it is what it is.
There's
Love
no
has
argument with that.
color, no boundaries, nothing, no, none of that.
Mhm.
If you love somebody, you love somebody.
That's good.
Yeah.
I love how that one word is like a full sentence, it's a full thought, it's a full journal entry, really, that one word. Okay, okay, thank you for sharing.
That was good.
Would anyone else like to share their journal entry?
I'll share one.
Okay.
It's a little. I said I think there are many definitions of love, even for like me personally. Some forms of love or experiences of love are unconditional, like the love from mothers with her newborn child. I believe some other forms of love, like romantic love, are conditional because there are certain actions and choices that validate that love and allow for it to prosper. Platonic love, like the love between friends, is give and take. I only have one friend, my best friend, and with her, there have been moments where the love between us is 80-20 from her to me, or it's 20-80 from me to her. There are some conditions within our friendship, but it is much more fluid than the love between me and my boyfriend, for example. My definition of love has changed over time, and I'm sure it will change more as I grow. My old definition of love that I look back at now, I see that it was an unhealthy outlook on love, and I had to learn that trying to love the wrong or like an unworthy person unconditionally can sabotage years of your life or worse.
So true. Thank you for sharing. I like how you went into just many different aspects of it, so it's good, it's good. And you even recognize your own growth, like a healthy love now and realizing an unhealthy love in the past. And that's what's so good about journaling, because you can journal these things, and as you grow as a person, and you know, years later or down the road, you go back to and you read that and you think, wow, look at how I've grown. Yeah. Anyone else? Would anyone else like to share?
I'd like to share mine.
Okay.
So what is your definition of love? Commitment to the betterment of, dedication to the growth of, deprogramming the burdens of, empowering the spirit of, pursuing the success of, fortifying the physical health of, enriching the mental health of those who I claim to love. I don't say I love you flippantly. That'd be disrespectful to those that I actually do love. My love includes my willingness to break a neck over my loved ones. My capacity to love is limitless and ever growing. My circle of loved ones expands as relationships grow and contracts as loved ones pass out of my life. My definition of love also applies to myself.
I love that. What an amazing entry.
Poetry.
Yeah, I ain't sitting up there and open mic doing your poetry.
I was just thinking that, like another poet.
Next time I'm going to sit right next to you.
Copy your paper. Anyone else?
All right, I am the only male.
Okay.
So the first prompt, what is definition? I wrote, willing to forgive and forget about the wrongs, mistakes, unpleasantries about others, and even willing to do more and go extra miles. That's what I wrote.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And especially having that male perspective.
Yes.
Because it's very important. As women, we get together, we tend to get together a lot, and men same. But when you can hear the perspective of the other person, it is very important to do that. So thank you very much for that. That's the mayor, everyone. Okay, I'll share mine. I shared one before, but this is the one that I did with you all. And I chose, how do you express love for your fellow man? I feel love for all people. I try to express the love I feel through being kind to people. Kindness, to me, is the key to love. People can feel kindness when it's shown, so when you are showing it, people actually feel that. And you say, oh, I love you, but there's no feeling. The kindness you show them, they can feel that. I also try to set an example of what being a good person looks like to my children. This way, I hope to send out other kind souls into the world, spreading kindness. I try to help people in need in ways that I can, whether that is giving money to people or organizations, buying someone a meal, or more importantly, giving my time. Time, I believe, is the highest commodity. I try to invest in people. I invest in my community. I give in unconventional ways. I'm most proud of open mic, the free community open mic that I do. This is giving to my fellow man something they themselves would not have been able to do. Love, I believe, is an action word. It is not what you say, for words are meaningless. Love is in what you do and how you make people feel. Yeah, so are there any comments on love or what we've shared today?
It was all good.
Okay. I think this is a good place to wrap it up then, and I really love that we ended on love. So, I have everyone's contact information. I will be launching this, because I'm gonna just recap you guys, a 90-day journal journey. So it will be a guided journal journey in 3 sections, because I think you guys know the book. Oh, yeah, the book. So I wrote the book, Life, Love, and Loss. So I'm going to do a journey this 90-day journal journey, and I'm going to start with love. I'm going out of order because you guys walked in, we were talking about the loss part, and it's so heavy. I didn't want to end the journey there. So we'll be doing love first, 30 days, like a prompt every day. Then we will do loss, same thing, and then we will do life. And it's going to be through social media. So I have my social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I gotta figure out what my YouTube page is, but Marianne the Poet. So every day we'll do a new journal entry, and then we'll, discuss it in the comments, and people can share, and hopefully it'll be an interactive discussion. And then we are going to, thanks to Raphael's lovely suggestion, meet once a month to recap like each one. So this will be the start one, and we're going to start on love, but I'll do the prompts, and I will let you all know somehow, whether it's text or email. Somehow I will say, okay, we're going live today, and then we will, I will do a beginning one explaining the process, and then I'll give that first prompt, and then it'll start the next day, so that, me writing what it is won't influence you, because you guys all have to write your own, right? And then we'll go, and then we'll at the end of it, we will also meet again to just debrief and talk about how we felt the journey went, what we learned, and all of that. But I really am so very thankful to each and every one of you for coming and opening yourselves up to the journal experience, because it's not easy. It's not easy to be vulnerable, but I'm glad that we have, as you said, this safe space to open up and share. Because of, like, one of the questions I said, who do you share your grief with? This is it, this is the community, this is the safe space for all of us here. So, thank you all so much. This was really great.
Yeah, it really was.
Are there any questions or any comments?
So we start on Wednesday, right?
We do.
So wake us up at 6 o'clock and say.
Right.
Okay, let's see. So it's, I think I'm gonna start on Tuesday, I'm gonna give the introduction.
Okay.
So I'll do the introduction post and say what it is and give the prompts,
Okay.
and then we're gonna start on Tuesday. So while I have you all here, what time would you like the postings to come
Like
out?
5 o'clock in the morning, what time we
I'm
do?
an early bird. 3 o'clock in the morning will be fine, I'm up.
Okay, so then I'll probably do it late at night.
That's probably a good idea.
So I'll put it out late at night,
Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah.
I'll start,
I'm gonna do it.
actually, I may start, since I'm gonna do it late at night, cause I'm more late,
I'm a nice start.
yeah, I'll do it, I'll probably start on Tuesday night, which is gonna be for Wednesday. Yeah,
So we'll wake up
Yeah.
ready to go.
and then we'll be ready to go.
Okay.
Thank you all for joining me on this journal journey.
Are you selling your book?
Okay, now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. And I was thinking I shouldn't take it. I'm so not good at taking pictures, but let's see what I take a picture. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Take a picture of it.
Want to get us all together?
Oh, like a group photo.
Yeah, group photo.
Oh, that would be cute.
Yes.
I always appreciate it when a male joins the I appreciate it. No, it's good to have a male energy.
No, I understand. I really appreciate it. Yeah. And participate.
You know that my next
Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
I would like to see you so much more involved than I am.
It's like a bookshop for the writer.
It is.
I'm making myself more
And that's what I said, so when I wrote my book, I had this journal, I started when I was 30 years old, it had a cover, it was nice, and the dog was in it. But I still have that, and that's what I started writing my poetry.
That's what I was gonna ask her when she's finished speaking.
Oh, is it, is it hard copy? Is it this or, oh, so I guess you have different options.
Yeah, 'cause I got the
Do you know
paperback.
how much she's selling for? Erin?
These are 10. I mean, not this, the hard copy is
Oh,
20.
that's a journal.
Yeah, but she got
Okay.
the paperback.
I got you the paperback.
Okay.
I just got.
But I was thinking the book, right?
I can get the book. You got the book?
I don't
I
know,
have the book.
cause this is her poetry book, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay. I'm see how much is it.
I'm gonna try really hard not to buy any M&Ms right now.
Very nice, thank you. Very nice. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, let me get.
You got it. I sure will, Mayor, you got it.
Right there with this. Wait, let me see. What, I mean, I'm not good at taking pictures, but I want.
She wants to do the work through, I think.
Oh, okay, you got it.
Did it go? I think it did. I can make sure, but I'm not, I have.
Yep, those are good.
Oh, good.
Great,
Good.
thank you. Thank you.
Have a good night. See you next time.
I have 20.
No. I just get it next class.
I have time. Okay. No, I'm good for.
Good, thanks.
I'm gonna need my autograph. By the author.
Thank you.
By the author.
Thank you. Thank you.
I got it, Kim.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, wow, that's nice hardcover.
What's your name?
Lisa, L-A-S-A. They call me Lola, but Lisa.
Right. Oh, okay. I'm just so.
Did you give it to her? She has it. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
See you next time. I'll see you somewhere in town. Oh,
Yeah. And I've had people
I keep asking, when can I get my little team?
But you
So
said,
I'm like,
you know,
so I don't think there's, I know, I'm journaling.
Yeah, stock it up on the side.
It's so nice.
He's on it?
Every day.
Right. Is he grabbing it?
Now, I'll take the.
Is he grabbing it?
Yeah.
I am analyzing that.
And then I have a.
My ankle.
No, but I, yes.
So, I'm like, oh.
You know, Sarah, and the point is that
I guess I'd rather much rather go to like.
Did you enjoy the workshop?
Yeah, they have it. Yes, yes.
I did.
Look, I'm not trying to set you up, I'm asking.
What'd you guys get?
What
What do you mean, what snacks?
Yeah.
They gave us some water.
Is that Rachel Curtin? Okay, great, long, okay, don't worry about it. My grandson was running early on with them. And I'm like, oh, I'm here, no Friday. But I think Rachel might still be on it.
Yeah.
And you was gonna be in his face with you today.
You can go ahead.
Yeah.
That's not.
I could sign up for you.
Oh, you should.
I'm getting ready to go home.
Yeah, be careful.
Yes.
Okay, I will.
You had. Yeah. Full day, I'm in church, you rushed over. Yeah, they tried to keep us after church, so we were. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, the traffic work, ridiculous coming here. I was coming from, like, something. Did you get your shot?
And I can't do that.
Oh, no.
You know, they hear her at the first hour.
Oh, yes. Bye, Maria, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
Ball out of way.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
Not you, I was gonna get all of that of our women, so.
This is by KYM.
Well.
How do you spell?
Oh, like, did I misspell it?
No, I spelled it right. It's KYM.
You just go like Rwanda, you don't know who they are, like you.
Yeah, who are you?
Did you?
Wait a minute.
What you got, Sassy? You ain't got nothing.
Oh, no, I'm not one that, I just wanted to make sure she spelled it right. Because most people would do KIM. You go both ways.
You what?
I don't know if she does.
Oh, what's that?
Not even do that.
Oh, that's
In action.
Thank you so much.
Oh, good.
Oh my gosh, I just saw the.
No.
Oh,
I just turned this off.
Thank you.